Alright guys, I want to address a huge issue today on this video. When people come along to my workshops, my seminars and my events, I so often hear, David, my problem right now is that I just don't know how to motivate myself. And whenever I get a Facebook message or an email or a comment on social media, so often the question in that message is one of motivation. How do I motivate myself? And I'm sure for you guys who are trawling videos on YouTube, if you're into inspirational content, personal development, you're looking for motivation. You're looking for the impetus to make change in your life. And what I want to do in this video is really break down some of the myths and misconceptions that we have about motivation, and ultimately point you in the direction of where you can find your motivation. Now, the first thing that I'm going to do is I might spoil this video for you completely, because if you're watching this video to get motivated, then this video isn't going to give you that. In fact, no video is going to give you long-lasting motivation. It's not going to give you real motivation. I'll explain why that is in just a minute. You see, we have this conception in our minds of what motivation is. Motivation is something that we get. Motivation is something that is given to us. And this is why I hate the term motivational speaker. I hate describing myself as a motivational speaker. I hate people describing me as a motivational speaker. Because you don't need me to motivate you. I don't give you motivation. Nobody gives you motivation. You already have the motivation within you. And all that outside source, a person, a life coach, a speaker, a guru, whoever it is, all they do is awaken the motivation within you. So if you're watching this video to get motivation, then you don't understand where your motivation comes from and the power of your motivation. You see, ultimately motivation is something that's within. And this is where I want to define two key types of motivation. Psychology research has found that there are two different ways that we are motivated as humans. We have intrinsic motivation. Intrinsic means inner. It's motivation that comes from within. And we have extrinsic motivation. This is motivation that's external to us. It's what comes from without. And so much of our focus as a society and as an industry is focused on this stuff, external motivation. When we're wanting to motivate ourselves, we go for the cup of coffee, we put on the playlist, the inspirational music. Perhaps we get a boss or a mentor to try and give us a kick up the ass. That is what we go for. And not just how we motivate ourselves, but also what we chase in life so often is external. If you want a nice body, if you want fame, if you want money, if you want prestige, if you want possessions and things, all this stuff is external. You're chasing external motivation, external factors. And there's nothing wrong with these things. But the thing about stuff that's external to us is that it's always finite. That means we never know whether we have it or we don't have it. It can always run out. And it's unreliable. We don't know when and if we'll have it. So focusing on external goals and using external sources of motivation to kickstart us isn't the best way to do things. Where we find our real motivation is over on this side. Intrinsic motivation. Motivation that comes from within. You see, if you have intrinsic motivation, that is an infinite and reliable source, because you can always tap into that power anytime, anywhere, any place. If you look at most of the successful people in the world, the really successful people, they will be intrinsically motivated people. They will have a fire burning within them, some kind of passion and fuel that never fades. And this is because they are very intrinsically linked with their purpose, their drive, and their direction in life. So if you're watching this video looking for motivation, then this is what we want to be looking for. We want to be looking for your intrinsic motivation. Stop trying to get things from external sources, because you can never rely on them and they will never give you as much power as this stuff. An intrinsically motivated person will beat an extrinsically motivated person every day of the week. So how do we find out intrinsic motivation? Well, studies into motivation have found that there are 3 primary factors that trigger our intrinsic motivation. The first of these factors is the opportunity to be creative. So if you have the opportunity and ability to put something into the world, to bring something into existence, to make an impact with your work, that is a powerful source of intrinsic motivation. Because all of us as humans, we have this inner desire to create, to make our mark upon the world. Now, you might think you're not a creative person, and creativity is often only pigeonholed into things like art and design. But everything that we do has creative expression in it. The way that we speak, the way that we dress, the way that we furnish our homes. All of these things have creative opportunities in them. And it's one of our core needs to be able to create things. So if you want to have intrinsic motivation, you need to align yourself with tasks, activities, and opportunities that allow you to create something. And so a question that can prime you to think of what you have in your life that has creative expression opportunities, or what you can bring into your life that has creative expression opportunities. This question is what fascinates you? What do you absolutely love engaging with? What is a real hobby or passion that you have? And how can you engage with this in a creative way? And if you're able to, you don't need to be motivated to do something like that. You don't need to be motivated to do something that you love. You don't need to be motivated to make an impact in the world. Just the mechanics of doing that act provides the motivation that it needs. So that is the first underlying principle of intrinsic motivation. The second is challenge. Now, many of us in our lives kind of shy away from challenge, and we don't like challenge, but actually, challenge is another one of our core human needs. We actually thrive under challenge. Any achievement or success that you have has come because of challenge. We don't define things as an achievement or a success if they're easy to do, if they didn't stretch us. No, it's the things that you've done where you've pushed yourself, that were hard, we didn't get it right first time. That is where you will point and say, you know what? I did really well there. I excelled myself. That is a success and an achievement for me. So this is where our motivation comes from, when we engage in something that is challenging. Now, I don't mean challenging in terms of negative challenge. I don't mean challenges in terms of people being nasty to you, challenges in terms of being absolutely financially broke. I don't mean challenges in terms of being grossly overweight and with some severe health conditions. I don't mean those kind of challenges. I mean voluntarily putting ourselves into things that test us, but we also have an enjoyment in the process. So if you think of something like sport, if you have a sport that you really like either watching or playing, there is a level, certainly when you're playing a sport, where you have a certain skill level. And the only way that you get better is through challenge, is through playing better players, better teams, learning from those matches and those competitions of how to improve yourself and how to get better. And there is motivation within that. If you look at an athlete like Michael Jordan, who had spent hours doing his free throws, if you look at a soccer player like David Beckham, who spent hours practicing his free kicks, those athletes, those sportsmen, they didn't need coffee, they didn't need motivational videos, they didn't necessarily need their coach giving them a kick up the ass. In fact, most of those type of athletes went to the regular training and they stayed after the training when the coaches didn't ask them to be there to practice their craft. Why was this? It was because they were challenging themselves. So if you want to delve into how you can find your challenge in life. Now, I want you to think of the answer to this question. What is a skill that you've always wanted to master? Have you ever looked at a musical instrument or a martial art or learning a new language and thought to yourself, I would like to be really good at that? There is something within you that is intrinsically attracted to that skill, to that pursuit. And if you engage in that, then that is its own motivation, because it's something that is inherently important to you and you're going to work and strive at it until you get good at it. So that's the second principle of intrinsic motivation. So we've had creativity, we've had challenge, and the third principle is contribution. Again, another one of our core human needs is the need to contribute to others, to give and make the lives of others better. And if you're doing something that's good for other people, again, you don't need a coffee, you don't need the Spotify playlist to make you do that thing. When you're helping impoverished children, if you're helping a blind person cross the road, if you're helping to improve the lives of any discriminated group in society, there is inherent joy in that activity. It has its own motivation. So if you can find something in your life where you're providing contribution, that is going to help you get more motivated. And there's a really powerful question that you can use for this. There's a couple of variations, but one that's been asked to me and has really opened some doors in my life and my personal development is, who do you want to be a hero to? Who do you want to save? Who will you fight for? Who will you be a champion for? Because if you're a champion for other people, that is motivation within itself. When you know that you are a leader and you are a guru, you are a protector of others, then that provides a powerful drive. Knowing that you're not just doing something for yourself, but you're doing things for other people. That is a huge source of motivation. And that certainly for me is what keeps a fire burning in my heart. Doing these videos, doing my workshops, producing all of the content that I produce. I do that in alignment with those three principles. I'm creatively expressing myself, I'm challenging myself and pushing myself to new heights, and I'm seeking to contribute, to make the lives of others better. And when you have those three things driving you, especially that last one of contribution, you don't need to worry about motivation. Motivation comes. You can't imagine not doing the things that you have to do. Now, are there times when it's an effort? Are there times when you get distracted? Are there times where you're not fully in your game? Of course there is. But the actual inherent drive and motivation to do that thing and to start is always there. And that is the power that you have within you. That intrinsic motivation is within all of us. And what we need to do to find this is to stop focusing on all this external stuff, trying to get the things and the fame and the money, and trying to do so through outdated, ineffective motivation methods. We need to operate from this space, the inner power, the intrinsic motivation. Because when you operate from here, man, that is a game changer. And you will beat anyone who's trying to operate from this space over here. So guys, I hope that's helped answer your question of, David, how do I motivate myself? How do I get motivated? Remember, you are the author of your life. You write the script for how you want your life to be. And the power of holding that pen really comes when you tap into this inner motivation, this inner drive. So folks, I hope this video has been useful for you. I look forward to sharing more with you next time. Until then, go out there and live your life of love and service. I'll speak to you soon. David. Hey guys, it's David again. Just a quick couple things to cover before you have to shoot off. First of all, if you liked this video and if you've been enjoying the content on the channel thus far, then could I ask you to please click that big red subscribe button below. That way you're sure never to miss any content and you can keep up with all the training and knowledge that I'm sharing on the channel. Second of all, if you feel that this video was impactful for you, And if you feel that there's a person or a group in your life who could really benefit from the message in this video, could I ask you please to share it with them? Share it with anyone who you could feel could benefit from this training. You see, I'm doing everything I can to get my message out there to all the people who need to hear it, but there's only so much I can do by myself. So I'm asking you guys, as my fans and supporters, to help me spread this message and help impact as many people's lives as possible. And then third of all, if you're interested in finding out a little bit more about my story and the 3 most powerful life lessons I've learned, then you can find this in my latest book, The Last 60 Minutes. This is a book that will help you find meaning and vibrancy in your life. Go to the video description below and there will be a link where you can look at the book and find out more information about it. And if you find yourself reading it, I hope you find whatever it is you're looking for in there. So guys, until next time, remember to go out there and live a life of love and service. I look forward to speaking to you soon.